2025 for me was a year full of discoveries, changes, and learning about myself and what I like. And so even though I'm a little bit late, I'll admit I'm going to share my top 10 favorite things from 2025. I'm going to have 5 physical items to show you, as well as 5 things just in general, whether it be mentality or actions, because not everything is about products. So I also wanted to share some things that I did differently in 2025 that I was really happy with. I'm on a road to minimalism, and I think it's really important to reflect on my favorites to really understand what brings me joy and what brings me happiness, so I can continue to do that stuff moving on. All right, I have my coffee, I have a candle lit, so let's just get right into it. Starting off with our first physical item, I got this at the beginning of the year, and it is a leaf shaver. I feel like this is just the classic one that everyone gets when they start becoming more environmentally conscious, but it really is a sweet gadget. And I got mine, I can't remember if it was on discount or for free, because I used Christmas money to buy it, and I've still been using the blades that it came with, and I've been using it for like a year almost, and I don't think I'm going to replace them anytime soon. A lot of my favorites are going to be longer term purchases, like actual good purchases that I made. My next fave, which is not a physical item, and that was staying off my phone. In February of 2025, I went 2 weeks clean off of YouTube. On April 1st, I deleted TikTok, and I logged out of both of my personal Instagram accounts. It has changed me. I go back and forth. I had to re-download Instagram and TikTok for work purposes because I'm a social media manager, but I also have instilled social media time limits on these apps, and my dad has the password. It also makes me try to use the time that I actually have more wisely on those apps. YouTube, it's hard. I go up and down. It's hard to stay off that, but I also know in October I went 3 weeks without YouTube. It's always so hard in the beginning to get rid of YouTube, but then when you're off it for a long enough time and you get back on it, you realize how icky it makes you feel. I always get headaches when I watch YouTube for the first time after I go sober for a few weeks. On to my next physical item fave. It was my record player. I've always liked the idea of getting into vinyl, especially because it's becoming more popular. A lot of artists are releasing special vinyls, but it never really grabbed my attention that much because I'm not the biggest music person, and there's also a very few amount of albums that I am willing to listen to all of the songs. However, in 2024, I think it was, I got into this band called The Warning. My dad introduced them to me, and I really like their music. In February, we went to go see them play in Guadalajara, and it was so surreal. It was so awesome. And then we got to see them again in Chicago in July. So for my birthday in August, my dad got me the official concert live recording vinyl. This one is from their performance in Mexico City, but it was the same songs and same order and everything as what we saw in Guadalajara. And he got it for me specifically because it came with a signed poster, and I thought this was so cool. I am so excited to frame it. He got the full live concert for me. I was so appreciative, but I realized if I'm gonna have the vinyls, I'm gonna want to listen to them. I'm gonna want to play them. So my mom, who found out that I was starting to get into vinyl and I'd be like, I want to play this, she got me a record player. And since then, I have collected a few albums that I for sure know that I would listen to all of them. So it's a very small collection, but it is curated to me. Like, I have to like all of the songs on that vinyl. So this definitely was a fave. Okay, going on to my next non-physical fave. It was getting a nutritionist. I got a nutritionist around February of 2025. For those of you who don't know, I am a competitive athlete for stand-up paddleboard racing. It is a very niche sport, but it is something that I truly love. I've been to the World Championships, and I'm going back this year for the World Championships. However, I was pretty stunted with my nutrition at the beginning of the year, and I was also carrying a lot of extra weight that I would have preferred to not carry, because with my sport, a big part of it is buoyancy. I'd rather have like the weight that I have on my body be actually good for me. Like, I'd rather the weight that I'm carrying be muscle so I can actually push myself forward. But a lot of that weight was fat at the time. I really wanted to change the composition of my body, and getting a nutritionist truly changed the game for me. I see photos of where I was at the beginning of 2025 and where I am now, and I just like look so much stronger and healthier. It makes me really happy because I was really struggling with that all of 2024. So finally getting a hold of it in 2025 was awesome. Okay, my next physical fave was getting a waxing kit. I don't know if this is TMI, but I specifically got it for my underarms because with my paddling, if I was sweating and I had just shaved, I would get rashes under my arms because of the irritation. Starting to wax and just doing it on my own truly changed the game, and I am so happy and I feel so much more comfortable with doing anything. Like, I would not want to paddle because I knew that I would be in so much pain afterwards because of the irritation. So now having zero irritation and also only having to deal with it once a month, it's like, it's crazy how much it has changed me. All right, my next non-physical fave of the year was socializing more and trying to be more type B. Now, this is a very online term, like the type A, type B. I don't know how much I like it because, again, it's just like a social media term, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so type A, I'm so type B. But in terms of the meanings of type A, type B, I am very much a type A person with a lot of things in my life. And I go through waves. There's times where I am like very type A, maybe sometimes only a little bit type A. But in 2025, especially at the beginning of the year, I really tried to relax and I tried to be chill and I tried to be more type B. Just going with the flow, embracing unpredictability, and trying not to micromanage. And it was nice. Right now, that's not the case. I definitely need to be on it. But being more type B also opened up a lot of opportunities to be able to hang out with my friends more and to socialize more and to just overall be happier and more relaxed. It was a very large shift from how I normally go about life. So it was very nice to experience that. And whenever I am in the mood to let myself go loose a little bit more, I will embrace that and it'll be good for me. Okay, next physical item fave was these linen pants. I was on the search for linen pants probably the entire year, and I got these in September. I did get these new from a fast fashion brand. This was definitely on me, but when I don't know about a brand, I don't know why, I just automatically assume it's not fast fashion because it's not like H&M, Forever 21, Shein, you know? But the brand that I did get this from turns out was fast fashion. Like, I just found out what PacSun was. I don't have any of these stores where I live, so I'm also very uneducated with the amount of fast fashion places that there are out there. Even though this is fast fashion, I was extremely picky with these pants. I had spent months thinking about getting them, and then when I finally had the opportunity to search for them, I went to so many stores. I dragged my mom through every store at the mall, and she hates shopping, but she put up with it. And I found ones that were 100% linen, not as see-through. They had pockets, they had good pockets, they were comfortable. I am very happy with them. I am going to take extra care of them for the foreseeable future until they fall apart, because they were also, even though I got them on discount, they were pretty expensive. I want to make sure that I love that item to death. My next non-physical item fave was decluttering. I mentioned this a lot in my other videos, but I did a serious declutter throughout this year. I got rid of so many things. I sold so many things. I got rid of a ton of stuff the first 6 months of the year. I did a garage sale at the end of June, I think, and I've managed to find even more things the last 6 months of 2025, just of things that I am realizing that I don't need. And as someone who's realized that clutter really gets on her nerves and she doesn't like to see it, and everything that she has to be of use for her, I've really downsized the things that I own, and I'm still not done yet. I'm still not done with decluttering things. I am a little bit nervous because I don't know if I'm actually going to be satisfied, if I'm ever going to be satisfied with the amount of things that I own, if it's just going to be a continuous process of getting rid of things and just making sure that the things that I do bring into my life are actually good for me. Decluttering was definitely a big win in my books for 2025, and I will continue to be doing it in 2026. Okay, now I'm going to talk about my last physical item fave, and that was my scrapbook. I got into scrapbooking / junk journaling around August, mainly because I knew that I was going to go to Portugal in October, and I have a travel journal, and I wanted wanted to switch up the way that I did my travel journal. And I thought, okay, let's try scrapbooking, let's try junk journaling. A big part of the reason I got into it was because I wanted to start practicing for that trip, and it ended up just snowballing. And now it is a thing that I do now, and it's really cool. I got this really good journal. It has a bendy cover so it can mold to the expansion of the journal, and I also got a strap as well so it keeps everything together. I tried not to buy anything new for this, so everything that I have in here is either junk or things that I already had lying around that I used. Like, I have a spread of all of my fabric scraps. This one was the spread, one of the first spreads that I ever did. It was for my birthday. I have my 2025 record collection in here, and then one of my more recent ones was the end of December, and then this is the start of the 2026 section. I don't know why I mentioned this, but I used to be a very artsy kid. That kind of died off a bit, especially with the increase of social media. So rediscovering this and actually putting glue to paper, pen to paper, just having fun and not worrying about it being perfect has definitely been super fun. And then following on with the theme of not being perfect, let's talk about my last fave of 2025, non-physical fave, and that is disregarding perfection. I used to be a chronic perfectionist. Everything had to be perfect. Again, back to the whole type A thing. But this year I have really found the beauty in imperfections. Whether that be my style, whether it be my skin, my makeup, my interests, you know? Us as people, we were not made to be perfect. We were made to be humans. There is a reason why each of us are unique. There is a reason why the universe, or whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, created us the way that we were created. It did not make us to put ourselves into a certain aesthetic, and it did not make us to be robots. It did not make us to be copies of each other. It made us to be authentic to who we are. And through social media standards, that may not be perfect, and that is totally fine. I do want to make a full YouTube video on perfectionism and how I was able to beat it, and just talking about the whole thing, about how much it has impacted people. Not only do I love this topic, but I also literally got a tattoo about it during one of the scenes of Arcane on the last episode of season 2, when Jace was talking to Victor about embracing his imperfections. There is beauty in imperfections. It makes you who you are, an inseparable piece of everything. All right, that is all for my 2025 faves. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any 2025 faves, or if there's even things that you want to get into in 2026 that you think will definitely be a 2026 fave. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in to all of the videos that I've been making recently. I have a few more coming up. I don't know how long I'm going to be posting this frequently, but we'll see. That is all I have for you today, and I will catch you guys later. Bye-bye.